Hello and welcome to a brand new City Skylines 2 series. So, quick backstory, my previous saved game got corrupted because of game update, and I had way too many assets in the game, and some of them got outdated or just broken, and it just broke my game. But honestly, I think it's a good thing because we get to start fresh, and I'm really excited about this new series. So, the plan really is to build a sustainable city from the ground up. I want to show how a city can provide food for its citizens within the limits of the city instead of relying on huge, massive monoculture fields which kill biodiversity, make things worse like flooding and fires, droughts, and etc. So basically the idea is to integrate permaculture principles in the city. Imagine that you can walk outside your building you live in and walk 50-100 meters and get into a forest, which you can actually harvest things from there, forage, maybe hunt as well, and then you can go back to your apartment or whatever. If you don't really like to live this way, well, other people like, and they can provide very nutritious, fresh, seasoned food to its citizens. So as you can see, we've got these contour lines everywhere, and instead of making everything flat and making grid-like city, we're gonna use those curvatures of the earth to the benefit of our city, as well as to a benefit to everyone, really, to animals and birds and plants and the land. And if it's built right, it can be very, very sustainable. I mean, every single city can provide its own food and nutrition and shelter and well-being and like nature everywhere within the city. So we're gonna start small, and we're gonna start building a small village, and then in each episode we're gonna expand and unlock new features. Also, I'm gonna showcase how we can turn monoculture fields into permaculture ones. Of course, the game wasn't meant to be played this way, but I'm gonna use all the tools the game has to provide, and I'm gonna try and blend forests and fields, and I want to really showcase how it's gonna look in real life. And this game is powerful enough to do that. And my goal really in this series is to show a different way of building cities and how we can actually implement those techniques to make our lives better. So let's dive in. So plan is to start off the city, and we're gonna go towards the coast here, and slowly we'll go uphill, and hopefully we will unlock enough things. Like, I want to have low raised buildings closer to the coast, and while we go up the hill, I want to see more high raised buildings. And of course, we're gonna integrate forests. And yeah, let's start. Let's see how it goes. So we've got our first layout. This area's gonna have residential buildings and commercials. But first we have to put the essentials, which is water and electricity and sewage. So we're gonna start with small water tower, and it's gonna be right in the center of this neighborhood, like that. So at first we're gonna pour out the sewage to the stream because we haven't unlocked other options yet. But as the city will progress, we're gonna replace those polluting outdated systems with better ones. Unfortunately, as you can see, the flow of the water goes right to the coast, and probably this whole area is gonna be polluted. But as I said, we're gonna fix it later. Let's just focus on progressing further and we will take care of it later. So I'm gonna put the sewage outlet right here. And next thing, we need electricity. I'm gonna put a transformer station and connect it to the power lines we already have. Like so. And we can start filling up this area. So we're gonna have some water housing at the front. Next, we're gonna connect those two streets one to another using a walking path. Like so. And here in the middle, we're going to connect all the paths together. So what we eventually get is a nice natural walking area. Like so. Here in those blocks, we're gonna have commercial zoning. And again, I'm starting small, and as you can see, I'm not using all the tiles. We don't actually need large buildings here, and I would love to have some space for other things, which you will see. Here I'm gonna expand a little, so we can have our industrial area. And if I turn on natural resources, if I turn on the water pollution, we get the water source here. And of course, I don't want to have a industrial area on top of this. It's gonna pollute the water. So this small area is gonna be dedicated to a very small industrial area. And we're going to connect the two roads with a walking path. Okay, now I can connect the sewage, which I forgot to do. So I'm gonna continue adding some more buildings here and on the other side as well.
Yay! Yay!
I must say that this asset is very beautiful. And I think it's a very, very nice looking pub. Well, it's a British one, but it doesn't really matter, right? So once we unlock the tiny village, we unlock some new buildings. And the first thing we're gonna implement is the small medical clinic, which is pretty cheap and answers the demand we currently have for healthcare services. So I'm going to put it right here, and it should cover this whole place. And we've also unlocked the landfill. Well, we have to start with it. But once we get further in the game, we can actually recycle some stuff. So yeah, we're gonna put the landfill somewhere. Let's see where the wind's blowing. So unfortunately, this unsightly thing's gonna stay here for the time being. And we're gonna give it a nice land to store the garbage in. It looks very, very unnatural, but this is what we've got. And now we are going to add an additional road here. And now we're going to connect the paths. And now we're going to do the same thing that we did in the previous section of the neighborhood. And now we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to fill this area up with some buildings, some residentials and commercials, so bear with me here. And next thing we're going to implement a burial site. We already have some deceased people, so a cemetery is necessary really. This should do, and it's a very nice looking asset. I really like this castle looking structure. Very old one. I like it very much. And I'm going to add another section to this neighborhood. And I'm going to extend the paths. I really hope you understand where I'm going with this and you can already see the pattern. If not, stick around. I'm gonna finish that sections that I just finished. And I'll show you what is the plan. So stick around. So as you can see, currently we have a sufficient demand for industrial area. So I'm gonna build one just right here. And again, we're using natural curves of the earth like that. And we should have this area, which should be enough. Actually, I'm gonna go like that as well. Yeah. Well, it should be sufficient enough. And you can see the demand goes down. And we should actually see more buildings popping up. So before I wrap up this episode, I'm gonna go and fill up the empty space we got between the buildings. And I'll give a little explanation once I'm done.
One eternity later.
So I'm gonna give a little explanation what was done here. So basically on the northern side of this forest we have some evergreen trees, which is pine and spruces, and you can see them all along the perimeter of the forest, only on the northern side. The reason being is that evergreen trees stay, well, green all year long, and during winter time you have strong winds and really cold ones. Well, depends where you live, but that's the case for most places in the northern hemisphere. So as well, they provide some firewood and diversity to the forest, of course. And the main forest is built from bushes and trees. So the main trees we have here are nut trees, which is hickory nuts, oaks, chestnuts, and this is the only trees we currently have in the game. And also we have some apple trees. Of course, we can play a game and imagine that these apple trees can be any fruit tree really that can grow in the area. Could be peaches, could be plums, could be apricots, etc. And the bushes can be forest fruit. Well, berries can be anything really, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, etc. Currently in the game we don't have any ground covers, which is well, literally it means that the plants that cover the ground, and those could be edible as well. And most of you know probably strawberries and edible plants like sweet potato and etc. Again, it all depends on the climate which you live in, but again, it can be implemented with any tree you like that grows in your area and any ground cover that grows in your area. And before we wrap up this episode, I have this nice neat mode which gives us the ability to walk as a sim. And you can see this residential nice area, very quiet one really. And then you have this path that takes you through the forest, and you can actually see all the trees and some bushes, which probably I should put more of them here just for the diversity. And again, I I just cross the forest, and then I'm here on the next street. And again, I cross and go to the forest again. And what it provides really is, well, everything. We as humans forgot how to be humans. I mean, we came from nature and we are part of nature. And being in nature, even if you don't care about the trees or the other animals, there's something in nature that makes it, well, obviously natural to us, but also it gives us a peace of mind, all the natural sounds that leaves make and birds and other animals, instead of having a constant hum of cars and construction and horns and what have you. We've got this nice forest, and everything is really close by. The shopping centers and the residential centers. And currently we don't have a public transportation, but once we do have, well, you take a bus and go to the industrial area, or you can go and work in the farms or work in the forests. Well, everything's open, right? You can do whatever you like. But this implementation, this combination of forests and neighborhoods, I think that's the future, really. So while I'm adding some vegetation and diversity to this forest, I would like to wrap up this episode, and I would like to hear from you. If you have any feedbacks, if you have any ideas, I just put them in the comment section down below, and I will reply to those and try to implement it in the city. And of course, if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out with the algorithm. And if you would like to see more episodes, please consider to subscribing to this channel. And if you really like this video, you can share it with someone, and I definitely will appreciate it. So thank you for watching and have a good day.